Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. It's time for a channel update. Have a chat to you guys, let you know what's going on with my channel, what I've been doing lately. I did an update, I think it was around about subscriber count wise, it was around about 4,000, a bit over 4,000 subscribers. We're now at about 6,700, I think. So the channel's growing nicely. It's slow, but it's steady. I'm still putting out videos every week, and I'm going to continue that. I have big plans for this channel, and I'm going to stick at it because I want it to work. I'm getting quite a loyal following, and I do appreciate everyone's comments and whoever gives me all a thumbs up. Occasionally I get a thumbs down. That's fine. It's all interaction. But obviously I like the positive comments and the support, and a lot of you guys are regulars, and I do appreciate that. And you've got to know me, and I've got to know some of you through your comments, and that's kind of nice. Now, this update is going to concern a couple of things. What's been happening just recently, and a few of you may have read my post about Christine taking ill. I'll just chat a bit about that. I've got a bit of a story to tell you. I've also got a couple of shout outs to do. And I'm going to mention a couple of things that are coming up in the future that I'm just kind of bounce off you guys, see what feedback we get. You know, it's great to make plans. I think you've got to have some sort of goals in mind, but you do need to be able to adapt and change, and I've always been pretty good at that, I think. So anyway, I have got some plans for the future. Whether they eventuate, we'll see. First of all, I'll talk about Christine for a little bit, because she likes to be first, and it's obviously been on my mind lately. This has all happened in the last week and a half. She took ill while we were away, and basically she developed a fever, very high temperature. She had some sort of infection that we probably will never know what it was, but it did mean that within the space of 2 hours she went from playing cards with the family and actually winning to being in an ambulance. So it's pretty scary, and I'm only mentioning it because, well, a lot of you have offered your well wishes and love, which is fantastic, and we appreciate that. But also, I think it's a good message that life is fragile and you never know what's around the corner. So I just thought I'd mention it because it's an experience, and you know, I like to share my experiences. So she's home now and she's doing well. It'll be a slow recovery, but it should be a full recovery. So that's great. Really happy with that, obviously. She got this infection while we were away and had a very sudden rise in temperature, had the shakes, threw up a number of times, clearly not well, and it was more than just eating a dodgy prawn or something. So she went in an ambulance to the nearby hospital, which was about 20 minutes drive away. Due to some shall we say maybe inexperience, we're not really sure, but there was some stuff ups basically at the hospital. She ended up having penicillin after she had told them that she was allergic to it, and that caused a lot more major issues. So she ended up in intensive care for 4 days. She got flown down to a much larger hospital where they did care for her very well. We will never know how serious the infection was, and if she had been treated properly in the first stage, she might have been home in a day. We don't know. We don't know. Anyway, what happened. There will, I believe, be an inquiry, both internally through the hospital, so she's been told, but also she's been encouraged to take things a little further and just follow that path, and basically there should be some repercussions for the people that did it. But anyway, the good thing is that it appears there's no permanent damage. She has got some trauma because she was awake. It's not like she was unconscious, and the penicillin caused an anaphylactic reaction, and then her blood pressure dropped away. It got pretty serious. They had to resuscitate her. So very scary stuff. But we'll get through that. That's fine. So I've brought you up to date. The good thing is that she's recovered well. She is home. She'll be featuring on videos again soon. Coco is most happy. She was the most depressed dog I've ever seen, I think, for the best part of a week. She followed me around everywhere, and she was clearly not herself. So we drove down to pick up Christine, and Coco came with me, and you've never seen such joy before when Coco saw Christine. There's a bit of a funny story on our trip down. It's funny as I relay it now. It wasn't necessarily funny at the time. And at the risk of extending this video way longer than it should go, Coco and I drove down the Hume towards Melbourne, and anyone local to here knows the Hume. I had forgotten to take Coco for a bit of a walk out on the lawn before we went, so we were about half an hour into the trip, and she was getting a real restless, so I thought, all right, she might need to go to the toilet. So we pulled off the Hume onto an exit ramp, which was a narrow road, and it was a few bushes around, and it was virtually no traffic turning off there. So we pulled in there. I got Coco out. She had a sniff around. She didn't go anyway, and I put her back in the car. And as I was going to the car to get in, I heard a click, and all the doors locked. I'd left the keys in the car. It's an older model Ford Territory, and I believe a lot of cars do automatically lock after a while. They must be on a timer. The keys were in the car, the lights were on, it wasn't running. My wallet was in the car, my phone was in the car, I'm standing outside the car. No one around. We had a 2.5 hour drive to go and pick Christine up, and about the same to come home, and we'd only got half an hour into the trip. She was expecting me about 9:30 in the evening to get over to where she was. And I've got this dilemma now of which is the least expensive window to smash to get in. I can't call anyone. There didn't appear to be any traffic on the road. I walked around the car 2 or 3 times, sort of scratching my head and thinking, well, I'm going to cash in some of my good karma. Help me. Come on, universe. And I decided that probably the best thing was to pull over the next car that comes past and call the RACV, which is the roadside assistance, and we're members, so that was my plan. I figured it was probably going to put me back about half an hour or an hour maybe before I got back on the road. The first car to come along, it was just dark. As I said, the lights are on in the car. The first car to come along, I could see the lights coming. I sort of did this. It was clearly I was clearly needing some assistance, and obviously they looked at me and didn't think I was an axe murderer, and they pulled over. And you'd never guess what the car was. I did tell someone, and they said the police. No, it was even better. It was actually the RACV service ute. Can you believe that? Within 5 minutes, or maybe 10, of me accidentally locking everything in the car, although I didn't actually do it, the car did it. Lo and behold, the local RACV guy pulls up, winds down his window and says, "What's up, mate?" I said, "Geez, what are the odds?" So thank you, universe. I'll have to earn some more karma to replenish my stores. So it's amusing now, and we were back going within 15 minutes. He looked at me and said, "You're lucky." And then he said, "Oh, also, Territories are one of the easiest cars to break into." And out he got with his little lever and his wedge and his bit of wire and straight in. So there you go. That was, I guess, a good ending to what could have been a bit of a drama. So we continued and picked up Christine. Got home, oh geez, it must have been, I think it was after 1 in the morning. So I was pretty bushed, but it was great to have her home. Coco was just ecstatic. Christine was most grateful to be out of the hospital as well, of course. And that was a couple of days ago now. She's been resting a lot. She's coming good. She's really going well, but it'll take a long time, and she's very low on energy, and she's just got to take it steady. So thanks for everyone's support again, and she will no doubt feature in some videos very soon. So the rest of this update, all right, we've got out of the we've got Christine off the rack there, and the next thing to talk about is the future of my channel. I've got a few ideas. I'm going to continue with all my recycling things, and I'm going to get back into some worm tests, and I'm going to get onto some antique bottle videos and all the stuff that I haven't quite got back to. A lot more repairs. My workshop here is coming along nicely, and we'll continue the great backyard cleanup and all that. So there's all that to look forward to. And if you want to see something in particular, say you joined my channel to find out about antique bottles, send me some messages, like comment saying, all right, this scrap out was great, but when are we going to see the bottles? So I'm gonna need that prompting, because I've got so many plans and so many ideas, and I want to keep everyone happy, which is a challenge, but I'll see how I go. So a couple of ideas I've got for the future, and I'll bounce off you guys now. I've started one of them, and I've called it my Deca Scrap series, where I scrap out a lot of stuff, and I know there's a lot of scrappers watch my channel, and they don't always get to see scrapping, so I'm going to concentrate on that a little bit more. And the whole Deca scrap idea is to scrap out 10 of something, 10 Deca, you get it? And that way, if I'm doing something small and fiddly, I get to do 10 of them, and then we get enough of each part to weigh up. It's easier to work out values. I'll keep track of my time, and you get a bit of a system. You know, if you scrap something out once, you kind of got to nut out how to get into it, particularly if you haven't done them before. Whereas if we do 10 in a row, we get an accurate idea of how long it'll take to do them if you do them regularly. So I'm going to continue with that. I started one on power boards, just general purpose power boards out of all sorts of equipment, and I did film a bit of it, but then I kind of scrapped that idea, pun there, because I'm not ready to do that yet. I want to take it right back to micro scrapping level, and rather than pulling off coils or chokes off circuit boards and say, well, let's go and scrap these out, then it makes the video super long. So what I'm going to do is I'll get some particular types of coils that we see often on circuit boards and get 10 of them and do a little video on just those coils, so that then we'll have relevant information for that particular part. I've already sort of done the transformers, but I might look at bigger transformers and investigate different ways of pulling them apart, because the recent video I did with transformers, a few people suggested they did it a different way. So I'd like to include all the information I can to help you scrappers out, and beginner scrappers particularly. And, you know, some of you more experienced scrappers may pick up a few ideas that you hadn't thought of. So I'm going to continue that, and I've got piles of various things. I've got 10 power boards at the shop, which I'll probably do a video shortly. Now, they're pretty easy to scrap out, but who really knows if they're worth it? And is there a lot of brass? Is it actually brass or just brass plated, the little terminals inside? Beginner scrappers will probably be interested to see that. So I'm going to go through that and do a lot of those. We'll get back onto that shortly. The other idea I had, which is more down the track, is that I've had on my notepad for a while to run through the secondhand business, how I run my shop, how I buy, how I sell. I've mentioned numerous times on some of my picking deals how we have a formula for working out what we should pay and often give customers money back. Rather than just do random how to run your business type videos every now and again, you know, a little bit more on how to eBay successfully, all sorts of stuff, I'm going to save a bit of that. And when my channel's a bit bigger, I've decided I'm going to do a separate playlist, and I'm going to actually run it as a really dedicated how to be a successful antique or secondhand dealer. Probably more secondhand, because antiques is a different sort of genre and it requires some specialist knowledge. But general secondhand dealing, I'm pretty sure that I could teach anyone how to successfully build up a secondhand business and be full-time at it. Now, it's going to vary a little bit where you're from, but I'm planning to do a complete instruction with no holds barred, everything on the table, all the figures, all the information to set up and run your own secondhand business, to the extent that I think I could coach anyone to work towards actually leaving their job now if they're not happy, or changing their tact in life, or if they've moved to an area and they're struggling to find work, and, you know, things are a bit tough with the pandemic and everything. There's a lot of people out of work. And in this day and age, I think recycling and secondhand dealing is going to be more and more of a growth area. And we have to protect our planet by reducing the stuff thrown out. And that's all what my channel's about. Secondhand dealing is a big part of that. And I reckon I can teach anyone to be successful at it over time with real life demonstrations, with facts and figures, with how I set my business up, my history, where to buy stock, how to price stock. And it's going to be pretty involved, and it's going to be a long-term thing. And what I'm going to do with it, I'm thinking, is I'm going to make it a Patreon platform thing where it won't be just on my normal YouTube channel, but it's only going to be something like $2 a month or something. I currently pay $2 a month to watch a guy with electronics, and he's very good. And $2 a month's nothing. It's like half a cup of coffee. And I'm quite happy to leave that tick over. And I noticed he's got a lot of people doing it, and it generates a good income for him. But it means, and if I get some sort of enough reward from it, I guess, it frees me up a lot more from my day-to-day dealings and you know, trying to make a living, to dedicate more time to my channel to teach people that really want to learn. And this way I'm giving something to people for that return. I know some people do buy me a coffee and they get $5, and that's purely a donation, and that's fine, and people are well supported with that. I think a lot of people that watch YouTube like to reward channels where they feel like they get some information from. So this way I'm planning to provide specialist information, and if you like, coaching. And I might even make a dedicated email where I can actually answer people's individual questions and help them out if they've got a problem. And long term, I'd like to build this up. And if I get plenty of subscribers to this, or followers to this, I'm still not exactly sure how it all works, but it will give me an extra income stream which will help me continue to do what I do and to help promote the channel. So I'll be getting something in return for my information, which is I've learned on the job. I've been in this business 20 years and I've been self-employed for much longer than that. And you guys then will, whoever chooses to do this, will feel like they're not getting free information. It's quality information, and they're happy to give a little bit for it. Now, you know, $2 a month, I'm not sure. That's just what I've got in mind at the moment. I would appreciate anyone's comments on that. Do any of you actually subscribe to any of these Patreon channels? I've checked out a few bigger channels that actually have it, but they're clearly not developed it, and they don't make very much out of it, and they don't really contribute any information. So if I'm going to do it, I'll put in an effort and make it work. Some of you might like to follow it even though you don't want to be a second-hand dealer. That's up to you. Look, I would appreciate any support there. YouTube itself is giving me a bit of support now. I'm making a little bit out of it from all you guys' watch time and subscribing and commenting and liking, and that's much appreciated. And again, it's something that I really want to build this channel up a long way. I would like to maybe get, I'm thinking maybe to get 50,000 subscribers before I start this Patreon thing. So I've got longer term goals, and I'm sure that I can, you know, commit to this for the long term and really make it work. And it's not about being wealthy, it's about giving back and providing information to the people that actually want to see it. And obviously I need to survive. So it's I think it's a win-win. Anyway, that's what I've got planned for the future. Now this video is going to be quick and I'm waffling on a bit, so that's going to happen. You'll get used to it. What else did I have? Excuse me, I'll consult my notepad. I was going to talk about, I need to do a couple of call outs. I've talked about the future, the Deca Scrap series, and I'm going to start a series on my shed expansion here. I did an introductory video just recently. I want to grow my workshop here and give me a bit more room to set up, and I want to pick up a bit of extra equipment. And I'm planning to do that, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the introduction video, but I'm planning to do that if I can with all secondhand materials. So I'm going to build an extension on my shed, and I'm going to hopefully not buy anything retail. So there's a bit of a challenge. There's a lot of building going on around this town. There's a lot of developments, And I quite often, even though I don't do a lot of dumpster diving, I quite often look in skips and drag out nice bits of timber. Let's see if we can build an extension on my shed for absolutely no retail purchases. We'll see how we go. That's going to be a long-term series, and it might be a few months between parts, just when I get time. I've talked about the Patreon. I've talked about some of my other playlists that I'm going to try and reactivate. I've got numerous worm tests going, and I haven't done any videos on them for a while. But now that the weather's warming up, we'll try and get a few more worm tests going. I have got some longer term ones that have been ticking over, so look out for them soon. Oh, now I nearly forgot the shout outs I've got to do. I had a couple of letters recently, both from the UK. So how's that? This one was from, and many of you scrappers will know the sticker. I think you'll be able to see that. Ian Matthews sent me some stickers, including one of his very hard to get, if in doubt, give it a clout sticker. Now, I'm not sure if the camera will focus on that. If it doesn't, I'll have to edit a picture in. So, thank you, Ian. Sent me a couple of stickers. I'm going to have to find somewhere to start a sticker wall. And a bit of a note, so I appreciate that, Ian. I enjoy his channel. Ian has the smallest workshop in the world. Well, perhaps it isn't, but then he's filled it up so that it is. He's a good guy to watch. He's got lots of personality. He does a bit of scrapping. He does a bit of creativity with his welder, making pig planters out of gas bottles and things. Always entertaining, great to watch. And I'm sure if you're in Ian's shed and he always says, "My name's Ian and welcome to my shed," or me shed, I think it's the sort of shed where you'd have to step outside to change your mind. It's small, but he manages very well, and yeah, it's a good channel to watch. Now, I do have to send some stickers to Ian. I don't think I have. So if you're watching Ian, you'll either get 2 lots because I've forgotten that I've sent them, or you'll get some later. Now, my stickers, for those of you who haven't seen them, I've got one on my laptop here, the Ultimate Recycler sticker. I'm not going to hand them out willy-nilly. You'll either have to send me your stickers to get one of mine, or you'll have to win one of my competitions, or at least be awarded one for your guess in your competition, in my competition. And this is where the next sticker came from. I sent some stickers out to Everyday Solars. She sent me a beautiful card and a note and one of her stickers. And Solars is a lady scrapper in the UK, and she has a really interesting channel as well. She does a bit of dumpster diving. She micro scraps. She loves her copper, and she makes creations using resin, so out of, you know, electronic bits and pieces. So an interesting channel as well. So what is it with the UK people? I've got stickers from there and from nowhere else in the world. So not that I'm really after a sticker collection, but Everyday Solar sent me one of hers because I was sending one of mine to her because she won one of my competitions. All came third, but I think third's as good as winning, isn't it? You still get a prize. So thanks, guys. I enjoy watching those channels. They're a good supporter of my channel. A lot of the scrappers on YouTube support each other, which is great. And so there we go. That's the shout outs. That's about it, really, for my update. Remember that I have got a Facebook page if you want to connect with me, or if you want to ask a question about, say, an old bottle you found, because you can't actually post pictures in the YouTube comments. You can go to my Facebook page. So if you just look up The Ultimate Recycler on Facebook and post a picture there, or send me a message, I can maybe help you out. And there's quite a group on there now, and I have a lot of people join that I think they find my Facebook page before they actually find my YouTube channel. So it kind of works both ways. So I think I'll leave it there. Just want to have a bit more of a chat to you guys. We might do another one in a couple of thousand subscribers. I'm not sure. I don't have a particular stage where I'm going to do updates, just if I've got things to report. Let me know what you think about my ideas. They may or may not happen, but at this stage, that's what's down the track for me. But like most things, as I'm walking down that track, another door might open. We might have a look through there. So that's kind of the fun in life too. If you keep an open mind, you never know what doors are going to open. So I'll wind this up. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support. And I'll see you in a video soon. Bye for now.